The following presentation provides you with steps for writing a quality theme. When writing a thesis statement, a lot of students feel uncomfortable wording their theme. They struggle to come up with a theme that is well worded, universal so that it applies to their own lives, but also specific to the text that they're reading. Hopefully, this will provide you with some strategies to smooth that out. Along with this presentation, you're going to need the following materials: your golden notebook, something to write with, and a quiet setting so that you can concentrate and focus on this presentation. Feel free to pause and copy notes from the PowerPoint and then resume play to listen to my explanations. If you're ready to go, we can continue. Step 1. Read the text. And I mean actually read the text. You're going to miss out on subtleties and nuance if you haven't read what you're talking about. There's just no way to know all of the details and important little factors of a story if you haven't actually read it and read it carefully. Step 2. Determine the abstract idea that the author is exploring. You have been given a list of commonly discussed abstract ideas. Look at that list and try and determine which abstract idea is the most important one for the text that you're working with. Authors pick big, important topics that are constantly debated and give their own perspectives about them. So remember that the abstract idea is just the beginning. A theme is never a single word. It's the author's perspectives or opinions about that important idea. Step 3. List all of the instances where that abstract idea occurs in the text. Throughout this presentation, I'm going to be using Of Mice and Men as an example, and I'm going to use the abstract idea of acceptance or tolerance as my example. So when I reflect back on the text, I can come up with the example that Slim accepts everyone on the farm regardless of their differences. Don't forget that you can also look for inversions or opposites. So if my abstract idea is tolerance, I might look for examples of intolerance as well. Lenny is not accepted due to his mental disability. Curly's wife is not accepted because she's a female. Crooks is not accepted because he's black. Step 4. List the results of each occurrence from step 3. It's not enough to know the moments. You also need to know what happens as a result of those moments. For example, as a result of society's lack of tolerance for Lenny's mental disability, George is forced to kill Lenny to prevent him from suffering. Curly's wife isn't accepted because she's a female. Steinbeck doesn't even give her a name throughout the novel. In the end, she gets killed in an accident while seeking attention. Crooks isn't accepted because he's black, so as a result, he becomes a bitter, vengeful person. On the flip side, Slim accepts other workers who are different, so everyone on the farm looks up to Slim. We should be noticing a pattern here. Step 5. Start determining the author's general outlook. Are the results of this abstract idea positive, negative, or neutral? For example, I might say that tolerance is positive, or I could phrase it as intolerance is negative. They're both sides of the same coin. You're not done yet, though. If we stop here, we are left with a theme that is too basic, too simplistic, and not specific to our text. Step 6. Add specificity and context, who, what, where, when, while remaining universal as you write your theme. This is tricky. Your theme should apply to the text and our lives. In the end, you might end up with something that sounds like this: empathizing with others who are different prevents intolerance. Step 7. Recheck and confirm your theme. This is your safety net. Compare the theme as you have written it to the occurrences you listed earlier. Do they match up in a way that makes sense? You should look at your theme and then see if it lines up with the examples that you came up with and the evidence that you have. Finally, here are 5 examples of successful student-written themes. Hopefully, you can look at these themes and begin to get a sense of how a properly worded theme is supposed to sound.